Okay, here. Arvada juniors.
Oh, yeah. She hasn't been to the union for a while.
There, I can see it.
FA, baby.
F period, A period.
Well, it's got the F and then the thing.
Oh, great. So it's like having brand new. And sources and all. I want to stop by your mom and dad.
Oh, you were in the original.
Wait.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. I would like to introduce Aaron Wiley from Troop 999 for the presentation of the colors. Aaron?
Group attention. Color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Please post the flag of the United States of America. Color guard, please post the flag of the great state of Colorado. Color guard about face. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These chairs are for you guys.
Oh, over here?
Good afternoon again. My name is Dave Pomp, former president of SOAR, Save Our Arvada Redskins. We are here this afternoon to dedicate a monument marking the birthplace and former home of the Arvada High School Redskins. The area where we are gathered today was the east end zone of the high school football field where the Redskins played their first game. The idea, planning, and funding for this monument was organized by Redskin alumni, local businesses, and area residents. I would like to publicly thank the following people for the hundreds of hours of work that have gone into preserving this portion of Arvada's history. Jim and Barb Tracy, Terry Binder, Rhonda Thorne, Edie Perigo, Ann Fall, Tom Hale, who's videotaping the service today, Buddy Sexton, Shirley Mosier, Louise Howell, Joanne Collard, Scott Staley, and Anita Markison, and the many, many other people that circulated petitions, attended school board meetings, and wrote letters and lent their support for our efforts. I would also like to thank the local businesses that have so graciously supported our efforts. From the First National Bank of Arvada, Mr. Jim Randall, Wright's Nursery, Walter and Eileen Wright. From Lead Insurance, whose property we're standing on here today, Bob and Kelly Lead, Arvada Stationery, and the Gen Corporation. A special thank you to the Redskin class of 1949 and 1951 for their contribution. Now, our first speaker, Terry Binder. Terry is a member of the RTD Board of Directors and a 1964 Arvada Redskin graduate. Terry also served as the Secretary-Treasurer of SOAR during our first year. Please welcome Terry Binder.
Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of the dedication of this memorial to the Arvada Redskins. 74 years ago, in 1922, the Tribal Council gave their approval of the Redskin mascot to honor this area's first inhabitants. And so, the phenomena of the Arvada Redskins came to be. However, who would have ever thought we would be here today to dedicate a memorial to the Arvada Redskins? It seems there are those in this world who want to make things that are good into something bad, and those who would like to turn things that are bad into something that supposedly is good. It all began on this spot, and for 42 years following 1922, the Redskins were the only game in town. Stadium and the gymnasium was full every weekend, as it seemed the whole town turned out for the games. Redskin pride permeated this community. Students passed from being warriors at Arvada Junior High to Redskins at Arvada High School. The Redskins became the heart and the soul of Arvada. Everyone knew the character of a Redskin, modeled after the area's first inhabitants. The character stood for honor, strength, courage, integrity, pride, knowledge, excellence, spirit, unity, and a sense of belonging to something bigger than self. It was something to look up to and model lives after. It was a common bond between Native Americans and students past, present, and future at Arvada High School. The Redskins exemplified those things that we could only hope this human race, and especially our children, could aspire to. The Redskins means many things to many people, but as one of the thousands of Redskins that are spread throughout this earth, to me, the Redskin means pride, school spirit, poster parties, pep rallies, bonfires, snake dances, homecoming, prom, innocence, knowledge, trust, honesty, kindred spirits, unity, belonging, color days, the fight song, the Arvada High School marching band leading the Harvest Festival parade, band boosters, homecoming moms, A Club, supper club, pep club, slumber parties, hayrack rides, car caravans to football games, half times, drill team, cheerleaders, the Redskin Arrow, the Redskin Yearbook, sock hops, teachers, classmates, friendships, home, and a sense of community. Where are these good things today? What is filling this void for our young people today? My daughter is an Arvada Redskin, but my son will not have the privilege. We stand here 74 years later to honor the Arvada Redskins. History cannot be forgotten because it lives in our hearts and minds. And history cannot be denied and painted over because we, the Redskins, are here, and we will not forget or be forgotten just because some would like it so. I am proud to be an Arvada Redskin. We all know what it means. The honor will continue.
Our next speaker is Warren Geddard. Mr. Geddard graduated from Arvada High School in 1924, and he's one of the original members of the first Arvada Redskin football team. And as I learned last night, lettered in sports a total of 12 times as a Redskin. Please welcome Mr. Warren Geddard.
Thank you, all you Redskins. Most everything has been said, how we originated and all that. But it was on this turf right here that afternoon when George Wheatley walked out on the grounds and said to us, in addition to telling us that the Indians had accepted us as brothers and sisters, if we lived up to two things: to work hard, but play fair. He said to us, "You are now the Arvada High School Redskins. And from that moment on, every student that attended Arvada High School became a Redskin. We were proud to represent those people who tried so hard to live up to their way of life and to hold their lands. But in the end, they lost everything. Coming back to the plaque that's going to be set today, it's going to show that here we were born. And I hope not here where we will die. But talking to the Arvada High School, it was always a great school. We thought it was the best. It has lost the name, the Redskins. But still it is a great school. And to me, it is one of the best. Thank you all.
Next, I would like to introduce Steve Urban, City Councilman from the City of Arvada, District 2. Steve?
It's hard not to get emotional when you hear someone like Warren say what he had to say in terms of work hard and play fair. It just doesn't seem like play fair entered into what we were thinking here today. My name is Steve Urban, Arvada City Council, but I'd rather be known as Steve Urban, Arvada High School Alumni Class of 1972 Redskin. I think it's important to be always conscious of where we came from and never forget that. It seems a lot of people grow up and move on and they forget where they came from. To me, traditions die hard. I love traditions. I was really excited when I heard about this and told of this event. These people really went to a lot of work. We live in an era of being politically correct, and if you're not politically correct, you're condemned. Never once in my days at Arvada High School did I look upon the Redskin mascot as anything but respectful. It was one of the sources of pride for thousands of graduates for decades. I doubt present-day graduates can really rally around Reds or a demon-like mascot for a source of pride. I think they wonder as to themselves what has happened. I remember the great source of pride at football games, basketball games, wrestling, the plays, everything that made up Arvada High School, and it all came back to a Redskin. We took pride in what we did at Arvada because we had a mascot and something to identify with. This event today and my memories of Arvada High School will always be a great source of pride. I salute the people that went to this effort. Warren, I salute you for being who you are and what you stand for. Thank you.
We are also lucky enough this afternoon to have with us a former principal of Arvada High School. From 1955 to 1965, Mr. Harland Pascal. Mr. Pascal?
Real joy to be here. I was going to make a long speech, as I was noted for in high school, but all these people said it so very well, especially you. You did an excellent job of identifying what a Redskin really meant to those students. I was going to talk to you today about what a Redskin really meant to the students that were in the fortunate position of being in school instead of on the streets. But you've already done that, so what's there left for me to say? I do want to say, and I've never had this opportunity to do it before, and that is that as principal of Arvada High School, One, it was a real joy to work with the boys and girls of this community, with the parents of this community, and to enjoy also the wonderful support that that school enjoyed from the community and from the parents. And it would be wrong for me to close this speech without recognizing the competency of a great staff and faculty. We were blessed with a tremendous staff and faculty that worked day in and day out to promote the very things that we have heard today represented a true Redskin. I think the first letter of the word Redskin probably stood out in my mind as a guiding light as principal, and that is that you have a responsibility to students, and the students have a responsibility to each other, and that each student had to come to understand that they were responsible for their own actions, which they did with pride. So what more can you ask? It's a real joy to me. I guess as you get older, you like to reminisce. And I've gotten older. It's a real joy to me, though, to be in a group like today and have so many parents, former students, and just good friends in the community come up and say, "Oh, I remember when you were principal at Arvada High School." Now, they didn't enlarge on that, but I made some assumptions. And I would like to compliment also, as has been said before, those of you that did what you did to commemorate the memory of our good old Redskins. I know you put in a lot of hard hours, and you were very determined, as a good Redskin would be, to accomplish your goal. My congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much.
The Arvada High School Redskins. What in the world are we making such a fuss over? What's a Redskin? And how did it actually come to be associated with Arvada High School? Over the last few years, there have been a lot of stories floating around. Today it's time to set the record straight. According to the United States Department of the Interior, the earliest usage of the term Redskin dates back to 1620 in and around Jamestown, Virginia, where the natives were referred to as Redskins because of a mixture of oils and herbs which they rubbed into their skin as a form of sunscreen, which gave the skin a reddish color. Throughout history, we have seen great Indian chiefs, such as Modoc and Ten Bears, proudly referring to themselves as Red Men and Redskins. Another reference is found in the book Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by D. Brown, where we learn that the French gave aid to the Peau Rouge, French for Redskins, during the taking of Detroit. Throughout over 200 years of American history, the term Redskin has meant Native North American Indian. In the early part of this century, Arvada was a small rural farming community. Ralston Creek, which runs through the southern part of the city, was the site of the first gold discovered in the state of Colorado. We even had a flour mill with our own Arva Pride brand name on it. The center of the community, however, was the high school, which is about to celebrate its 100th anniversary. As in any small community, local high school sports played a big part in the lives of Arvada's citizens. In 1922, football coach Thomas Vanderhoof decided the team needed a mascot, an icon to represent the best qualities and attributes of a winning team. He felt that the tribes of Indians camped along Ralston Creek not only symbolized the history of Arvada, but embodied all of the characteristics he hoped to instill in his team. Coach Vanderhoof asked principal and superintendent of the district, George Wheatley, for permission to call the team the Redskins. At Wheatley's suggestion, a letter was sent to the tribal council for their permission. The council responded with a letter thanking the school for bestowing such an honor. The attributes and qualities of a Redskin, which are listed in your program, include pride, strength, loyalty, honesty, fairness, bravery, and above all, determination. Over the decades, it wasn't just the athletes that aspired to these principles, but the entire student body that lived up to these goals and were proud to call themselves Redskins. As we pave over our heritage in an attempt to grow, we must stop from time to time to mark our history so that future generations will know where we came from, what we believed, and what we held sacred. I would like to turn things over to State Representative Mark Pascal from District 29, who will deliver the dedication prayer.
Thank you, Dave, and all the members of SOAR. Before I pray, I did want to say a few words to y'all. I am delighted and proud to be associated with Save Our Arvada Redskins. When SOAR initiated the drive for recall of certain board members of the Jefferson County Schools, I knew that this group understood the threats of an elitist bureaucracy and what it poses to the lives of our children. Our reasons for gathering here today are varied. For some, this occasion marks the end of an era. For others, it is the means to cement their resolve. Still others may wish to employ the principal theme of the movie Dead Poets Society, a movie which Robin Williams starred as a maverick English professor at an exclusive all-boys college prep school. He stressed to his students, carpe diem, or seize the day. I'm going to seize the moment to tell you that this demise of our Arvada Redskins is symptomatic of a problem that is cut across our nation in the educational establishment. And we have to rise up to preserve our heritage. Specifically, we are gathered here today to pay tribute to and memorialize the rich and honorable heritage of the Arvada Redskins. The word Redskins has certainly been subjected to the twisted and sophomoric logic of a political elitist who are bent on promoting a collective victim status to all who would embrace and advance the latest sophism in politically correct thought. However, as Terry and Steve and Dave and Mr. Pascal and all have already said, that we already have a rich heritage. And Coach Vanderhoof and the Navajo Nation knew the honor with which the name Redskin was associated. The beauty and pride, the honor and dignity of our Arvada Redskins has been battered and beaten by a media feeding frenzy which in essence maligned and humbled our mascot and drove it to an untimely death. I am saddened by those who would control and micromanage our lives, that demonstrate no conscience and certainly are not encumbered by the truth as they attack our heritage and seek to erase its memory in favor of a new matrix, a new world order where virtue, honor, dignity, and excellence are twisted and tortured with politically correct sophisms that subvert the rule of law. In their place, these deconstructionists promote moral relativism, situational ethics, pragmatism, and create in our children complacent demigods. Our culture, our heritage, the great standard by which this nation was founded, our very civilization is on a precipice, on the threshold of destruction. As Satan used the scriptures to tempt Jesus Christ for the purpose of destroying Christ's eventual redemptive work, so too these modern-day servants of the father of lies incorporate the law and our founding documents to pour contempt upon the very tenets of those documents. Those tenets are cogently summarized by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Aren't our hearts stirred within us as we hear these words? Doesn't the spirit of Americanism still burn within us? If so, what is its source? Where does it come from? Does it come from some words that are sketched on some parchment paper? Or could it be that those words are a succinctly written description of the spirit of America that transcends time and culture? I am convinced that the words of the Navajo Nation, work hard and play fair, the passion of our forefathers, and the unifying principle taught by the Apostle Paul, that Christ tore down the walls that separate us, that in him there is no Jew or Gentile, no black or white or red or yellow or brown, but that we are all one. These principles and examples are the embodiment of the spirit of America and reflected in the heritage of our Arvada Redskins. John Curran said in 1790, "The condition upon which God has given man liberty is eternal vigilance, which condition if he violate, bondage and servitude is at once the consequence." We have not drifted so far that we cannot reclaim this country for ourselves and our posterity. But we will be required to sacrifice for the sake of giving to our children and their children a future and a hope. It is with that reflection and thought that I ask you to join me in this prayer of dedication. O great Father above, Son of Man and Holy Spirit, we humble ourselves before you and seek your face. And in the vision of your pure light, we are made aware of the darkness that permeates our own lives. How we have fallen, and as a nation drifted far from you. We have become a nation that arrogantly embraces academic and moral absurdity. We have taken pride in our own shame. Forgive us, Lord, and reconcile us to yourself. Hear us now as we dedicate this memorial in honor of our Arvada Redskins. I pray that you will honor this memorial not only with its preservation, but that you would write on the table of our hearts the dignity of the spirit of the Redskins, in order that the Redskins will live on within us, and restore the spirit of America, that we might again attain the stature of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask these things in the name of Jesus Christ, King of kings, Lord of lords. Amen.
Mr. Geddard, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing for us this afternoon. Would you step up here, please?
My hat again. Get these legs working, and I'll be all right.
Would you step back there and yank the red rag off that rock so we can all see it?
Just yank that red rag right there. That will be a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the honor continues. I would ask the color guard now to retire the colors.
Wait till he gets out of the way.
No. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know. It's turning, but it's just not having any sound.
Hearing and running to the side. Rah, 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 here they march so proudly. Their colors red and white. A cheer for every loyal Redskin. So do your best, my boys. So fight, fight, fight!
Group attention. Color guard attention. Color guard forward march.
Color guard, Max. Color guard.
Color guard, halt. Color guard, please remove the flag of the great state of Colorado. Color guard, please remove the flag of the United States of America. Color guard about face. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. About face. Group at ease. Color guard at ease.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's cake, there's punch, something resembling punch, and for anybody that has asked about t-shirts, please leave your name there at the table and we'll see if we can't find some more t-shirts. Steve has one more thing he wants to add.
Before we conclude, I just think that people like Warren Getter are a source of pride for our community. Could we give him one more round of applause?
Yes, sir.
And another oversight, we have a teacher here, former Dean of Girls, Mrs. Marjorie Thompson. Yeah, from 1933 to 1970, is that right? Anybody else that's been slighted today? We're all Redskins today. Enjoy, people. Thank you for coming.
So that's her. I haven't seen her
Oh, yeah, that's her.
for 50 years.
Oh, see that?
Yeah.
Group attention. Color guard attention. Color guard forward march.